Business webinar with Nigerian filmmaker Uche and Hollywood actress, the lovely Miss Grace Obi. And a warm welcome to you both. How's everyone feeling today?
Feeling great.
Well, I'm happy you're back. And Grace, thank you for gracing us with your presence once again.
Thank you.
Yes, I know you're busy. I know you're tired, but you are doing something special for the youth in Nigeria and Gambia, um, across Africa, because we have um, our new Next Global Institute, and we should have a website up next week. And these young adults are training with us. They are getting support from us at Nextna, Nextnaa. But we'll talk more about that later on in the webinar. So I'm so happy that you agreed to come back for part two, Grace OB and Director J. Leo. Grace, I just noticed your last name is OB. Are you related to the famous Peter OB?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay. So you're not one of his secret daughters or something. No,
No,
no
I'm not.
scandal. No scandal.
Uh-uh.
Oh, okay. All right. So we won't have that on record, but we'll start recording now, okay? Okay. So we have just made the wonderful Grace OB smile today. And that's what everyone loves about her, not just her smile, but the fact that she is very relatable, especially after playing that role of Amaka in the Monkey Business movie. So last time we talked about um, mental health, we talked about facing our fears. And this time, we're going to talk about relationships and where a lot of our young folks are, especially young women who are connecting to you, Grace O'B, through that movie. So, yeah, we'll tell the audience a little bit. Let's make sure our Facebook viewers are with us before we get started. And welcome, viewers. My apologies, I didn't introduce myself. My name is Dr. Sheri Tomlin, and I am your host for today, coming to you live from the Dallas Metroplex area here in Texas. And we have the wonderful Grace Obi and Nigerian filmmaker and director Jalea Uche from Lagos, Nigeria. So while everyone's coming in and joining us, we'll just continue to give an introduction about our webinar today, which is the second part uh, for the Monkey Business movie webinar. So with the Monkey Business movie, it's not just a movie, it's a movement. So this is what we're trying to get across to everyone. Okay? And we have the interns working behind the scenes. We hope our viewers drop questions in the description box below. And we look forward to more webinars. And we also will be giving you more information uh, as far as how to be an intern and, join the movement before we end our webinar today. Okay, so I think we're ready. All right. Are you ready, Grace OB? Are you
Yeah.
ready, Director J. Leo? Okay, so we're gonna start with Grace OB, but Director J. Leo, we'll come back to you in a minute, okay? So let's
Oh,
go over, yes, some of the scenes in the Monkey Business movie that we're going to start showing episodes, let's say next Friday. Let's get our campaign started next Friday. So you'll get to see Grace in that movie, and we have a sequel coming out next year. But let's rewind and go back to part one, where Grace is coming back. She's playing the role of Amaka. She's coming back to Nigeria. They're filming in Enugu, Nigeria, and she is starting over after being married to someone, after she graduates medical school, she marries someone in America, and her mom and father, they're waiting for her to come and do her traditional wedding. But instead of coming to do that, she comes and tells them she's divorced. So, so what happens next, Grace? We'll let you continue the story from there. So you land in Nigeria, and then what happens?
So, excuse me. My mom was expecting me to come home with my husband so we could have the wedding. But I called her. I told her that there was no way, there was not going to be a wedding because I left my husband. So when I got back home to my mom, I explained things to her, and she didn't feel bad about it. She encouraged me like a mom would encourage her daughter. And she told me that it's not the end of the road, that so many good things will happen, good opportunities, and I will meet someone better, someone that we can work things out, because I actually got divorced because my husband was a bit abusive. He was authoritative. He wanted me to do what he wanted. He didn't really care about what I wanted to do. And it's very hurting as an adult having to be with a partner that doesn't care about your feelings other than his. Always been selfish, wanting you to do what he wants and not wanting you to do what you want. Because I was a doctor in the movie, but he didn't want me to practice what I studied for. So that was why we got separated. So eventually I met with the famous
Jay Sugar.
Jay Sugar. And he was asking me out, but I was a bit skeptical because I just got out of a bad relationship. I wasn't looking for a rebound. I was still trying to heal from the trauma. And he was there confessing all the love in the world, telling me how he's gonna be different from my ex, singing for me. So but I didn't I wasn't what was the word? I didn't say yes to him. I didn't say no to him, but I didn't really want a relationship as of that time because I needed to, I needed to heal properly. And that is one mistake I feel like a lot of people make. When you come out of a relationship, looking for the next relationship is not the best thing to do. You need to really try to heal whatever trauma or whatever it was you were going through before you go into another relationship. Because when you're not properly healed and you go into another relationship, it's going to affect you at the end of the day. So I was trying to be proper. So I didn't accept his proposal, I didn't accept his yeah, proposal.
Approach. His approach.
Approach. So, but we're good friends. We went out together. I observed him. He told me he could protect me from the monkeys, but there was a day the monkeys bit him. And I was wondering, this is someone that said he's gonna protect me from the monkeys. So if the monkeys can beat him, that means I am not safe with him. So that was a bit of what happened between I and Jay Sugar. There was no serious romance, just friendly conversations, and me, I was trying to consider him because I felt he was a good guy, but I just didn't want to jump into a relationship with him. So that was what happened between us in the story.
Okay, thanks for that uh, coverage there. Nollywood actress Grace Obi. If you're just joining us, we are having a relationship focused discussion about certain scenes in the Monkey Business movie. And we want you viewers to feel welcome. Please sit back and relax for the next hour as we unpack the story and let you know the direction of the Monkey Business movie and the Monkey Business movement that we're going in for the rest of 2025 and 2026. So we have started our conversation with the Nollywood actress, Grace Obi. And yeah, so what you just said was that you came out of a bad relationship, and it appears that person was very controlling. Your partner was pretty controlling. And this is what a lot of young women might be facing. They want a husband, they're waiting for a husband, but then a lot of them will get the wrong husband. So it takes a while to find the right person. And then you feel some women, and this was a great step that you took. You decided, I'm not jumping into anything too quickly, but a lot of us do. I've done it, I just like, hey, I just need to feel better. So not realizing that this person has traumatized me. I have a lot of anxiety. I have a lot of fears. And I'm just looking for that daddy person to make me feel better. And a lot of people, a lot of women don't have to go through this. If you were to have your little checklist and first of all, know what you want, because you're going to end up, being a servant to someone, being their slave in a lot of cases, putting up with a lot. They're seeing other people, they're married to they're bringing home diseases to you. There's so many different uh, things that could go wrong. And it does on a daily basis, for a lot of women. So, yeah, so I want to first apologize, Grace, because in our last webinar, I came off as a little bit flippant, where I said you thanked me for choosing you for the role of Amaka in the Monkey Business movie, but I came off flippant by saying, well, I didn't pick you. It was someone else. It was one of the young ladies who was about 24 years old at the time, which was last year when I was staying in Senegal. I stayed there for 8 months last year. So her name is Nabu, and she's the one that chose you when we were looking through the portfolio that director J. Leo had sent over. So what I was looking for at the time was someone that was more like a rom-com actress, the sweet, adorable type. And when I saw your pictures, you were more like the boss lady type, and that office, yeah, boss type. And I was like, yeah, maybe not. But what happened was Nabu picked you, and you ended up delivering the sweet, adorable rom-com, yeah, role that I was looking for. So you ended up giving me what I wanted, but I didn't know you were the one to do that. So, everyone, if you're just joining, we are live on our Monkey Business webinar. We're shifting gears this week and we're diving into discussing relationships, the good, bad, and the ugly. All right. So, so we love Grace Obi's image and her energy. And Grace, let me share my screen real quick. I want to show you some of the young women that are following you and that are, waiting for a husband. This is a young lady from Jamaica. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, my sister is probably going to strangle me, but anyway, when she see I have my niece up here, but she's like 22, she's in school, she's waiting for a husband. Let's see, we have a young lady here. Can you see the young lady from Nigeria?
Nope, it's still Jamaica.
Oh, okay, still Jamaica. Okay, let me stop and go here. Okay, so we have a young lady from Nigeria. She is gorgeous. Nigeria's gonna bring it. Yeah, she's finishing. Can you see her now?
Yeah, I can see her now.
Okay, her name is Mercy. This is my personal assistant. And she's finishing school. She's yeah, waiting also to, find the right husband. And yeah, we have, let me bring up Nabu. Yeah, this is the one who chose you. Let me make sure you can see my screen. Hold on. Okay. In in Senegal. Can you see Nabu?
Oh, she's pretty.
Yeah. So Nabu is the one that chose you, Grace, for the Monkey Business movie.
Oh,
And
thanks to her.
yeah, so she picked the right actress, okay? And we want to thank her because from what we're learning, um, these young women between 20 and 30 instantly connect with you, and now they're also connecting with you through the character Amaka as well. So we were talking earlier, Amaka didn't have the typical storyline where, you know, there was a happy, what is it, happy ever after. She gets the guy, and yeah, that didn't happen in that movie, right? So
Mm-mm.
when it ended and you didn't say yes to Jay Sugar, uh, yes, a lot of the young women who are watching were probably like, okay, I feel better because, a lot of them are going to weddings and they're watching everybody else get married. They're not getting married. So in the story, you didn't get married. So they're okay. They're like, okay, we like this chick, She she just like, yeah, she refused the offer and she's waiting, and so are we. So, uh, what can you tell our young women out there today, Grace, from your personal experience and from the role you played in the movie?
So, uh, I have come to a realization that relationship is beautiful, but when you go into the wrong one, it feels like hell on earth because there's just so much that would go on and it can get you affected mentally. So what I would advise everyone out there is don't rush into a relationship. Take your time. Take your time to do the right things. First of all, work on yourself because we always try to look for the problem in other people, forgetting that we also have a role to play. We have our roles to play. Please pardon my voice. So I think the number one thing to do is work on yourself. If you feel like you have any form of insecurities, past traumas, maybe go for therapy, or if you feel like you can heal, because some people can heal on their own, but therapy really does help. Therapy brings your mind back to its original state where it's supposed to be. Do that because sometimes we use our past experiences, we take the experiences and go into another relationship, and then we see ourselves always lashing out, being insecure for the wrong reasons, because that pain, that that trauma lives in our head rent free. So I was saying there's no need to rush anything. Take your time, heal properly, pray, look out, discern. It's also good to discern. Look out for red flags. Don't always, because another problem is some people feel like when they meet a guy or when they meet a girl and she has maybe two or three of the qualities they want, they feel that whatever red flag the person has, they can overlook it. Those red flags would definitely come back. Let's say maybe now I met a guy, he's rich. One of what I'm praying for, maybe he's rich and he's tall, he's handsome, he's single and he doesn't have a child. So like he has met most of my requirements. But now being in a relationship with him and I realize that maybe he's abusive and I don't like an abusive man. I don't have to stay there and say, okay, let me use the fact that he's rich and he has met three of my requirements to stay there. two things. If this person really loves me, I can tell him, okay, fine. Can we let's go for therapy. Let's see if you can work on this character of yours and be better. Someone that really loves me and doesn't want to see me hurt would definitely say yes. But someone that doesn't care, of course he wouldn't care. He would say no. So let's always look out for the red flags. Let's try to discern better. Let's heal from our past traumas. Let's pray. Let's do all the right things. But the number one thing not to do is to rush. Never rush anything. I've realized that whatever it is I rush into, I always rush out of it at the end of the day. And sometimes when you come out of it, there's always something that you've lost in the process. Maybe you've lost your sanity, your mental health, you've lost your mojo, you've lost your confidence, because sometimes when you're with a bad person, they'll make you feel like you ain't nothing. They make you feel like you're worth nothing. I've been there before. I felt like I was never gonna be loved by someone else because this is the only person who could love me right. But that is a lie. First of all, our God loves us. So as far as God loves us, we are loved. We just need to meet the right person that would appreciate us for who we are. And that is why it's good that before you go into a relationship, or you know that I'm of age to get married, look at yourself, take your time, look out for your bad sides and see how you can work on them. Nobody is perfect. Nobody can really be perfect, but there are some things that we need to work on. Like, the truth is, I used to be a boss lady. Like, I used to be so bossy to everybody, my friends, my partners, my workers. But then I realized that trait, it made a lot of people scared of me, and nobody really wanted to always be around me all the time. So I had to take my time to realize that I can't always be this person. If I want to get this result, I can't be this person, because I wanted to be around people, but people didn't want to be around me because of who I was. So I needed to work on that person so I can have people, I can get people want to stay around me, to enjoy my company. So you also need to check yourself, know what your bad characters are, work on them. If you need a therapy, go for therapy. Whatever it is, whatever exercise you need to do to be a better person, go ahead, do it. So you wouldn't have to start battling with it when you are in a relationship. Sometimes why marriages don't work or why relationships don't work is because two unhealed people come together trying to love each other, but then the shortcomings keep coming, arguments keep coming, and communication reduces. And communication is a very, very powerful part of a relationship. We have to communicate to know ourselves better. We have to communicate to love ourselves better. We have to communicate so we can know each other's fears, how to help each other. But when there is no communication, the relationship begins to die. So we need to do the right things, put the right things in place before we take the next step. I feel like people call marriage an institution, but a lot of people don't study what marriage is all about before they go into it. A lot of people just feel like, oh, boy meets girl, girl meets boy. We do what we do. We just love up ourselves, and that's it. There's so much that needs to be in place. We all have a past, and some way, somehow, we are a result of what we've been through. Somehow, some people grew up in toxic environments. Some people grew up in lonely homes where they had to be their own survival. They didn't have anyone to. They didn't have friends. They didn't have. It was just them. So they learned selfishness from a very young age. So it's not like they want to be selfish, but it's just because that is how they grew up, and subconsciously it lives in their head rent free. So that is why it's good that everybody should work on yourself first before you step into a relationship so that you can be your partner's peace and not your partner's trouble. So that's what I feel. And I hope what I said made a lot of sense.
Amen. Yeah, you touched on a lot of good areas there. First of all, with the last thing you just said, when people are growing up in certain environments, they are going to be, used to certain things or have bad habits, bad behaviors, and you don't realize it. So the first thing you do when you meet someone is to meet their family, understand their childhood and their background, because that's going to play a big part in who they are as adults. Okay? Are they still children, inside of an adult body? Some people are 18, they say you're an adult, but they're immature. They're not ready for a relationship. So you jump into a marriage with someone like that, and they're not loyal to you. They don't understand, what it means to share your life and share your feelings and communicate. They don't understand any of that. Maybe they saw their mom, they're getting beaten, or their father beating their mom. I was in an abusive relationship, and the guy actually told me, my father said when women get out of control, we're supposed to tap them up. I'm like, are you serious? I couldn't run fast enough. Okay, I've been running. Yeah, I was like, this is an actual thing in our community. We saw did everyone see, the whole world see that? The way he beat that girl in the hotel? Okay, this is happening to Black women around the world every minute of the day, every day of the week. Okay, because for some reason, I don't know if it goes back to the colonizers. I don't know how far this goes back, but they were told, especially the men in America, the Black men, yeah, just have babies. A lot of them don't understand, you're supposed to stay and take care of them. They're just loyal to themselves. Okay. So you have a lot of single moms and yeah, no fathers, a lot of young men growing up without a father here. So it's just, yeah, it's different in different cultures. Go to counseling, when you get married, before you get married, after you get married. The funniest thing is the men, we have to fight with them to go to counseling. But once they go to counseling, you can't get them to stop going to counseling. They just enjoy therapy and counseling. Director J. Leo, why are you over there laughing? So we want your input. Okay, this is Director J. Leo. He's a five-time mixed martial arts champion in Nigeria and also a filmmaker. So please give us a little insight of what young men might be going through as they prepare for marriage, or maybe they don't feel they're ready for marriage. What do you feel is going through their minds? And you can give us a little bit of your personal experience too, okay?
Wow. I've been laughing and blushing. I think Grace made me blush a whole lot. And uh, she said a lot. Grace said a lot, a lot. I didn't know she's this vast, you know. Uh, let me take us a little bit backwards, talking about how she came up on board on Monkey Business. Don't forget I'm the casting director. I I've known Grace as an actor, and we did a job together somewhere on the island, and I spotted her amongst her friends, and I summoned courage and said to myself, she is. I know a lot of actresses, I know a lot of people, but I said to myself, and she's the one. She's the one playing Amaka in Monkey Business. Then I, you know, shared it with you, and we got Nabu involved. We went back and forth. At the end of the day, Grace was chosen. And I know what I went through going back and forth with her. I think she was really busy at that time. And I was telling her, see, you are the one. So I strongly believe in her, and I know the best is yet to come out of her. That's on Amaka's character. So going back to relationship, Dr. Sheri, you said something that I really found quite funny, and which is true. You meet some men, they are in their 50s or older men, but they have a child living in them, like a child of 15, 16, 17 years old living in them. And you'd be like, but this guy is old. What's going on? Why is he not, reasoning with me? I've met a lot of guys I discussed with, and I was like, wow, this guy's just a baby in an adult's body. So women tend to find men like that. And as a man, relationship, most men, especially here in Africa, most men appear to be ready, but they are not ready mentally. They are not ready to face what comes after being together. They sometimes infatuation comes about first. They look at the outward side of the woman. They don't see the quality or what the woman is, her ups and downs, and they are not ready to balance what comes from that relationship. So, and sometimes, especially here in Africa, some men that are not financially ready, they don't go into it, because this side of Africa, men, when they go into it, they want to be responsible for a whole lot of things. They want to be in charge. They want to take care of the family. And when that man is not well to do, then there's a problem. Like Grace rightly said, that there are qualities she's looking at. He must be handsome, tall, and rich. So, those really count here in Africa.
And no children, yeah. No baggage.
So, and no children, yeah. She said, and no children, yeah. So, when she look at all those qualities, she's like, okay, I think I can do with this. But if the guy is abusive and all that, that's a no-no for her. So here, we don't just look at if the guy is. She just said something that's very, very important. We just don't look at the guy if he's rich or if he's handsome. There are some young men that are raised in a very toxic environment, abusive environment, where their childhood was never good, and growing up, they don't know what love means. They don't know what caring means. They just understand, hey, just need to be selfish and fight and, survive. So, and when they are ready to say, okay, I want to go into a relationship, you see those traces, you see those stuffs, coming up. And that's where some smart women comes in. You need to begin to redirect that energy by showing love and care and make him understand, hey, this is how I was raised. This is how I was raised. I was raised in a lovely family. We do things together. We are caring. And by the time you start showing that to that man, he will begin to adjust. It's an energy. He begins to adjust and like, hey, this person likes caring. This person likes all this kind of thing. And you find that man trying to change. But when you find a man who is abusive, like who likes to be the woman and all that, for me, it's a no-no. It's a no-no. And I strongly believe that if a man loves you, truly loves you, and he has some bad characters, as a woman, you can change it when he loves you. But if you as a woman wants to go into a relationship, this is what I was going to tell my younger sister or anybody I truly care about. Before your 2, 3, 4 months in a relationship, like friendship and all that, or dating, you will definitely, if you're not carried away with excitement and love, you
Yeah,
definitely,
that's why I say to wait 2 years, don't, not even 2 months, 2 years. That's when you'll see the real,
yeah,
somewhere that timeline, you'll see the real
yeah, you see the
character.
person, you'll be like, oh, uh, wow, I can deal with this. I can keep up with this kind of character. I think this is not too bad, you know, So, but I've been into a relationship, and I found out that 2 years is not even enough to study a woman. The older you keep going, you'll be like, whoa, they just pull up uh one trick and they'll be like, wow. So
In defense of women, okay? Yes, we know a lot of women do have bad attitudes. And like Grace said, she noticed the way people perceive her and the way she was acting, and she decided to change certain things. And then you also have to remember we do have, some women have monthly cycles, a lot of the young women. So when that progesterone drops, and I'm a, medical provider, and I didn't even realize it. When that progesterone drops, that monster come out on you, it's causing you to just be, just full of that monster energy, and people are like, men don't understand these changes and what's happening. So maybe they will just take it the wrong way. Like, you know, I don't know how to help this person. If you don't understand the woman to begin with, right? What she goes through as a woman every month, as a woman because of her childhood, as a woman, because of her worldview, you know? So go ahead, Director J. Leo. We just wanted to defend women real quick, but we'll let you land. Go ahead and land.
yeah, there are different kinds of women. Uh, there are alpha female, there are alpha male. And Grace, I've known Grace for some time now. Grace falls into that category as an alpha female. When she says she's a boss lady, kind of I laughed. And uh, I said to myself, yeah, Grace is beautiful. But if you're not an alpha male, you might be thrown off balance. You might not really want to be comfortable around her and all that. And we have different kind of women like that, and you see some men want to really have something serious to do with them or marry them, but sometimes they are timid. They're like, hey, can I keep up with this attitude and all that? And sometimes that's how they are. It takes some smart women to lower their, should I use the word guard, and try to understand this guy. If I really love him, can I just come down to his level and all that? But it doesn't work that way in real life, because very often that nature will always pop up, and you find that some of these guys will start adjusting, and they don't blend. And there's a lot of things women usually do uh, that sometimes I want to advise. It's not really good. Some women don't do that. When you love a guy and this guy truly, truly love you, you found out that this guy truly, genuinely love you, don't choke him. Don't choke him in a relationship. Like, when I mean choking him, like, you're always, hey, what are you doing? Yeah, what's going on? This is that. So he will now start acting in fear, living in fear. Give him that benefit of doubt. Give him space to breathe, to relax, to be himself. And with that way, you will begin to see his real nature, his true character, and then you know how to correct him, how to come in and say, hey, babe, this is not nice. I don't really think it should, but when you are, poop, 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 trust me, the guy will eventually run away,
Well,
Uh,
Director J. Leo, maybe the alpha male and the alpha female might not get along because, maybe the alpha female don't need an alpha male, right?
no,
Because, yeah, sometimes I guess It could be in the workplace. Hopefully, it's not also at home, but you're in that male energy. And for a lot of women, we should not be in the male energy because the man who has the male energy is looking for peace. You know, he's looking to be the leader, the protector, and the provider. And you have the alpha female in that role. So you see, there's going to be conflict, uh, if you could speak on that.
Yeah, very true. Very true. And biblically, that's where Bible comes in to say, women, be submissive to your husband or to your spouse or to your man. Not that, there are some women that are very stronger than some men, both mentally, uh financially and all that. But when love comes in, you just need to, give him that belief, give him that space, make him feel like a man. Because by the time you kill that ego, let me use the word ego, in a man, trust me, he will not function properly. He will be acting timid. He will suddenly one day want to stoop so low for something that is not even worth it. But just because he's looking for peace, or he's looking for where to belong, or he's looking for a way to feel better, like, hey, I'm the man here. So, and when that is coming shoulder to shoulder, you guys are always struggling for leadership and all that. Trust me, that's not going to last.
Yeah, so it could go wrong in every different way because, a man who's not an alpha male feeling intimidated or jealous, that's not good either. So how do you find as an alpha female, a man who's not an alpha male that can, support you, respect you, and feel it's okay? Do they do this in Africa? In America, it is a big problem. They can't go along with you because they feel, they're not at your level, and they're not. So maybe, Grace, what do you suggest in this conundrum?
Um, I feel that, there's a popular saying in the Bible that can two walk together, else they agree. And it's a very simple question, and the simple answer is no. If I'm not in agreement with someone, we can't actually work together and we can't actually get married. We can't be in a relationship. So I feel that it just comes down to knowing your role. Every woman, no matter how alpha of a woman that you are, you need to learn submission because in the order of creation, the man was created first and the woman was created as a help to the man, not to be the leader. Of course, you can correct your partner because no one is perfect, but that role has to be stuck in your mind that I am this man's helper. So what I can do is I can subtly correct him when he's wrong, but I can't just come out and yelling at him like he's a child.
Right,
Even
like you're his mom. Yeah. They
exactly.
they hate.
Yeah, men don't like that. They don't like it at all. So I think the best thing is if you really feel that if anyone is in that space and you really feel that this is where you want to be, that you can actually work to be in that space and make it work. So that is why people should go for more counselings and therapy to see how they can adjust their minds, their beliefs to being the better person, the better version of themselves. Change is a constant thing. Anybody can change. Knowing someone for 2 years is not even enough because after 2 years, people's taste can change. But the point is, when there is something that you both look forward to, it makes it easier. Okay, let's just say, for example, um, I love God, and maybe my partner loves God, and we read the Bible and we see that um he has to love me like God loves the church. Then I have to this is a scripture. They say men love your wives as God loves the church, and women be submissive. So when we have that mindset and we are both working with that mindset, it makes a lot of things easier. if we go for therapy and we can come to an agreement, it makes a lot of things easier. But when he's always feeling that he's the man, he can boss me around anyhow he wants, and I feel that I'm an alpha female, I can take those things from him. We can work together. So it just has to do with a lot of agreements for the both parties, the both partners.
I know. And then in the bedroom, it's like, oh, this guy is great. And then everything else is like, why, God, why?
Exactly.
So, and then a lot of women, they also, maybe they're boring because I'm very boring. I am so boring. If I talk right now, like for an hour, people will be snoring. They'll just be out cold sleeping. So I'm looking for a guy who's exciting, the opposite. They say opposites attract, right? So, yeah, this is the type of guy that will compliment me. And then a lot of women, they go for the bad guys, right? Yeah, because this is exciting. So, speak a little bit about that, Grace, that you've seen happening to some women out there when they choose the bad guys.
Choosing the bad guys.
The ones that, yeah, they're the thugs. I don't know, why do women like them so much? I don't know. Instead of the nice guy.
Okay, what do I really have to say? Choosing the bad guys. Uh,
It's a turn on, right? These bad guys are, yeah. Is it the machoism? What is it?
but they're always hot. The bad guys are always hot. That's the truth. And
You're right. They make sure they look
always hot.
very
Yeah.
attractive and appealing. Yeah. Oh, we got their little secret now, huh?
Yeah, it's a mind thing. So I feel like these guys, they know what they want. So they tend to take care of themselves and come out to be that person that any lady would want to fall for. It's just a mind thing. So at the end of the day, you meet this bad boy, his oh my God, he's breathtaking, he smells really good, he's a sweet talker, and women, we love sweet
Oh,
talkers.
don't forget the sweet talking. No, the pillow talk, sweet talk. Good
Yeah.
girl.
So at the end of the day, these guys, they know what they want. And for women, I don't know. I just feel that don't just let's always have our consciousness in whatever we're doing. If we feel that we want to go into marriage and you want it to be a lifetime thing, there are some things that you cannot change overnight. So you need to be careful and look out for, is this person the bad guy that I can live with and we have kids together, or is he just that guy that we would just have fun and that's it. So at the end of the day, I feel like when you have your priorities right, there are some mistakes that you wouldn't make. Because like for me, I have my priorities set and right, and I cannot fall for just anything. Of course, yes, I love the looks, love the handsome guy, I love this, I love the tall guy. Yeah, but I know what I'm looking out for. So that is, I think that's the number one thing. Raise your consciousness to what you want. You want to be a wife. You want to be a mother. You don't want to be in a toxic environment where you end up having kids that would be growing with this toxicity mindset. And I think that's a lot of things. That's what has happened in our society today. That is why people don't really fall in love anymore. People just they call it survival mode mentality. People just want to survive, so they don't care whom they're hurting. They don't care if they have to marry a man and not love him. Just get what they want. Then maybe in 4 or 5 years time they had the divorce, and it's messed up actually. So but I feel, ladies, raise your consciousness. If you feel that this guy is whom you want to be with, look out and see if he wants to be with you. Yeah, bad guys can change, but don't ever think you can change someone overnight. It does not work that way. I've not seen it happen anywhere. The only thing that can change people overnight is encounters. Who are they encountering? it's I can't just wake up and just change a full-grown man that has grown up for 30 something years of his life. It's not rocket science. I'm not a witch. I'm a human. I don't have those superpowers. So as far as you know that this is it, you just have to understand that you cannot eat pepper and not have your lips hurt. You can have pepper touch your lips and your lips won't hurt you. So if you know you want to go for pepper, you need to know how to manage that pepper, right? So that it won't destroy you. Or how will I put it? So I feel that we should, like what I said before, I feel like we should all raise our consciousness and know what we want before we go into it. We shouldn't just settle for the looks. Looks is great, but we're looking out for a future. We're looking out for a stable environment where we can thrive. Because the bad thing about being in the wrong marriage is you will not be able to achieve as much as you want to, because 90% of the time you are mentally drained, and whenever your mental focus is not stable, you cannot achieve as much, because maybe you're in the office, you're trying to send a report, and before you know, you might just break down in tears because your mind is clouded with so much pain, regrets. You can achieve as much as someone that is happy. When you are happy in a marriage, as in you will thrive more. As the happiness is a, should I say, it's a tool. It's actually a tool. Even in the Bible, happiness, joy is a weapon. You have to be happy for you to draw from the wells of salvation, or from the streams of salvation. Unhappiness, there's nothing to draw from it. It's
Right.
just,
But you can't depend on someone else making you happy. You have to know how to make yourself happy first. You can't, yeah.
yeah, true. But when you're in an environment where you're not appreciated and you're mistreated, no matter how much you want to create happiness for yourself, that consciousness, or especially, let's say, for example, God forbid, I'm married to Jello, and Jello, whenever I'm home, he always tries to treat me very bad. So the only time I find happiness is when I'm out of the house. But the moment I get to the gate or the door, that that thing comes back. It lives rent free in my subconscious, knowing full well that when I get into this house, it's either we're going to have arguments, or we're going to have a fight, or something that
So,
just that
so
doesn't happen.
would you be able to tell your partner how you feel and have a discussion? See, this is where, we have issues. We're going to have disagreements, but can we sit down and talk about it? Or is the guy going to keep things in? This is what a lot of men do. Let me tell you right now. They keep it in and they, don't say anything. And then they go out there in the world and they meet someone you know, who is not your wife, and you're able to share certain things. And next thing you know, they have a little connection going and next thing you know, he's over there living with her. Okay. So, so keeping things in and not being able, you have to, before you even get started in a marriage or decide to get married, you have to figure out, is this person someone I can have a conversation with? Does he listen? Do I listen? Do I care? Does he care? Yeah, you got to sort that out before you get married. Sure. Go ahead, Grace.
Yeah.
We'll let
So
you land.
I think you just said it all. You just finished it, because that is the most important thing. Having to be with a guy that doesn't listen to you, or cannot accept going for therapy or counseling, how then do you want to work together? How do you work in agreement if you're saying, okay, I'm sorry for what I did, I'm sorry for all I've been doing, but please, can we find help? Can we go to the therapist and see how we can work on our relationship? And then he says no. How do you beat that? It's just, and these signs are things, I believe, when you're in a relationship, you will see them. So don't ignore the red flags. I always tell people, no one is, I'm not perfect. I'm not, but try not to ignore them. There are some red flags that can be managed, but there are some that cannot be managed. A man that doesn't want to be spoken to or doesn't want to be taught. Some people they don't want to be taught. They feel that whatever they're feeling or whatever they're saying is the correct thing. How do you beat that? So the most important thing is look out for everything. Don't just be fascinated in the room and outside you're in regrets because you're like, this guy is only sweet to me when we are together in bed, but outside there it's something else. So I think we should look out for everything. Look out for red flags, look out for signs, raise our consciousness, and most importantly, let's always learn to go for counseling and therapy, whether before we get married or even in marriages. Because yes, in marriage there's some conflicts, some problems would pop up, but when the partners are in agreement and maybe they seek a therapist would help them navigate whatever the problem is, and they'll find a solution. And as far as both of them are willing, because a therapist is not a magician, but as far as both of them are willing to put in the work, and that's final. That's the most important thing.
I want to chip in something. How was our parents then were doing it, when there was no therapists, when there was no place to go to get counseling and all of that, because there were strong mutual understanding as then.
I don't mean to cut you, but there was strong mutual understanding. After they paid 10 million naira for a wedding, the guy was like, we're not getting divorced. And the parents were like, y'all staying together. Y'all, man, we went through all this. So this is how they did it, okay? They were in it, like it or leave it. They had to stay there, okay? Because they spent a lot of money. The family, a lot of times it's family, how would you say? It's transactional, okay? The families are coming together because they have this and the other one have that. So they're putting their children together, right? To build wealth. That's how they did it back in the day, right? Go ahead, Director J. Leo.
And I think they got a lot of people involved in their relationship. This one's family, and everybody have what to fear for or what to respect. Sometimes you might, as a woman, you might not really, or as a man, you might not really respect the woman you're living with that much, but you respect the father or the relationship, have relations, or someone in her family that is so big, like you just have this person, like, hey, I can't offend her, I can't hurt her because of this person. So, but these days people just do the things their way and all of that. And again, going into a relationship, if there's no serious communication, you will not have a base, you will not have an understanding, where the woman is talking and you're quiet listening as a man. And when the man is talking, you're quiet listening as a woman and try to make sense from whatever he's saying. If you're not doing that up and if you're not going back and forth on that level, you to get to a point where you two will be like, no, I think she's not listening, or I think he's not listening. And when that comes in, trust me, it's not going to work. So if you build it gradually that way, it will keep you away from going to see a counselor or going for a therapy and, talking things over when you have arguments or where something is bothering you. You bring it up and you discuss it with your man. If he's sensible enough, he'll be like, okay, I think this is not nice. I think she feels bad about this. Try and change.
Should I cut you a bit? So I had this relationship where it was a bit toxic, right? We were always arguing. He felt he was always correct in the things he said. And I felt that he was being childish, right? So we had our communication times, but you know what I realized in the long run? He was only saying yes to me just because he loved me, but he didn't believe that what I was saying was making any sense. So we got to a point where I told him that if you feel that the things I'm saying does not make any sense because he was a bit childish, let's seek a counselor, because sometimes, yes, talking to our parents is good, but there are some parents that are a bit biased. One thing I love about my mom is not a biased person, but I cannot vouch for someone else's mom. So his mom might hear the situation because we talked about going to his mom first. And I was like, no, I would have said my mom, because when I'm wrong, my mom would tell me to my face that you're wrong, because I don't want to raise a barbarian for a daughter. I want to raise a daughter like me. So, but I don't know about your mom. So let's leave family out of this so we don't have any biased judgment. Let us go to someone that does not know you and does not know me, and this person has to do their job right. Then let us see if what I'm saying does not make any sense. So it was so funny that after all I was saying that period, I realized that he only used to agree to what I say because he just wanted me to shut up and stop talking so we can, do whatever we had to do. So at the end of the day, this is what I found out. And the only problem was we didn't have the opportunity to go to the therapist because we ended things. I traveled and the relationship was over. So what I'm trying to say is you're very correct, but sometimes why a therapist is good is because there is no biased judgment. Right? Sometimes with family, there's always this bias. Oh, she's my sister, I would defend her. He's my son, I would defend her. You get me? So that is why sometimes it's good that we go to the therapy or the counselor. Then about our mothers in those days, yes, like you said, there was no serious rate of divorce like it is now. Our mothers were trained to God forbid, I don't want to use the word slaves, but they were trained to adjust to whatever situation they find themselves in, right? Which some were lucky, some were blessed. Let me not use lucky. Some were blessed to be in a home where their husbands were not 100%, but at least they were in a place where the marriage was still good. Some just had to stay and endure all their life. They were not happy, but they are married and they're married. Going back is a taboo. It's against the culture, so they couldn't go back. So, but now because a lot of things have been abolished, a lot of our culture, our in Igbo we call it omenala. I don't know how to say it. A lot of our I think it's cultural because every tribe has a culture, has their rules, their regulations. Just like in my place, those days, if you give birth to twins, they'll kill the twin. They'll kill the children. I think they said twins were, I don't know if they were bad luck or something. It was a belief, right? So, but there was someone believed that those days, and even those days, women couldn't really cheat because if you cheat and you get caught, you will be burned to death with the man you were cheating with. So all these things kind of it helped them in those days. But now these days, nobody looks at culture anymore. Nobody cares about what the culture says. Nobody cares. Some people go to church and they still don't even care about what God is saying. They just care about how they feel and what they want. They don't care about any other thing.
Right. They're just going to church for a social event every week, right?
Exactly. So that is why I think that is why a lot of things are happening the way it's happening these days. But at the end of the day, it's always good to pray, raise your consciousness, and do the right thing. I think that's I'm gonna end it right now. Thank you.
You're just joining us, viewers. Yeah, you're tuned into the second part 2 of the Monkey Business Movie webinar, where we have the fabulous Nollywood actress Grace Obi here with us, and director Jay Leo, a five-time national martial arts champion in Nigeria and filmmaker from Nigeria. So, Director Jay Leo, continue, please.
Well, you see, life is so broad that the more you think you've gotten to a particular level or you've gotten to a stage, and you found what's going to solve the problem, trust me, you're going to dive into another problem. Talking about counseling and maybe going to see a therapist. I was once a victim. I was in a relationship, and I think the therapist ended the counselor ended our relationship. So I used to believe, and that spoils my belief system. I used to believe that that's my final stage. So, and after that experience, I come to a realization that if I cannot talk to my woman to listen to me, and if she can't talk to me, I listen to her. If we cannot sort or solve our problems, trust me, we might be pretending, calling the third party to come and save us, which might not really happen. Probably after some time, we'll still go back to our true self, because you can only lie to yourself. You can only lie to, so you have to be sincere and say, I want to be in this thing. I want to continue in this thing. Okay, after lovemaking and all of that. So what is the next thing that can keep the two of you? Is it like Grace mentioned the other time, you two can be praying together. You two can have one common, but something that could keep you two together. It could be work, it could be something else. So this lady, I was trying to advise her on something and all that, and she wasn't listening. And I said, okay, I suggested. And she's like, yeah, let's go. In fact, the person is happened to be a pastor. She's like, oh yeah, let's go. And it's beautiful. So I just noticed that, okay, this pastor started going one-sided, he became biased. And he would be like, do you know she's beautiful? Why would you, I was like, Carl, this man is going somewhere else. And at the end of the day, she got the check, and the both of them started flowing, having some appointment without me. And when I found out, it was late already. So, and I consulted the other pastor, and I said, see, this is what's going on. So that one called me and said, oh, you would have consulted me earlier, I would have, explained a whole lot. This has been happening not just to you, but to other people. He started pointing out other people facing the same situation. Like, wow. So this guy is actually going to corner this girl and all of that. So I learned my lesson the hard way, and I decide going forward for me, if I am the head of the house and the head of the family or relationship, I would learn to, come to your level. Let's have a common understanding. Let's have an agreement. Let's say this is the way we should go, and hear from you and see what points and reasoning you're making. And if it's not going to work out between me and you, calling my father or my mother, or these people have actually lived their life, calling them, it's like we are not sincere to ourselves. We have to be sincere to.
So Grace is saying you don't want to call people who are already biased. And going back to something you said, Director J. Leo, if you have to be willing to listen. So you came to that place where you decided, a lot of men don't listen, and maybe sometimes for good reason, because women talk too much. Okay, we can talk all day, and the guy's like, oh, Jesus Christ, do I have to listen to this woman every day, all day? She just don't shut up, and they don't know how to say, can you ask me how was my day? What's going on in my life? So it should be a good balance there. Sometimes it's not. So some people find themselves in that situation. Moreover, we have to realize that men see the world with blue colored glasses on. Women see the world with their pink colored glasses on. Okay. So we have to merge the two so they're both violet colored glasses they're wearing. A great book, if you're interested, is called Love and Respect by Eggridge. And he explains how men view the world and what they expect, and how women, and he went through this with his wife. And then when he ended up with someone else, he was like, wait a minute, and now he is a therapist. So it's good to have therapy. It's if you're able to bring yourself to that place where you can be the therapist, more power to you. You're going to save a lot of money. So give yourself a pat on the back, Director J. Leo. You know, you're our honorary therapist.
Sorry, Director DeLeo, can I tell you something?
Please.
So you said that you went for counseling
Yeah.
to a pastor, right? First things first, I'm a very spiritual person, but I would tell you that that is wrong. It is, well, maybe I should call it misplaced profession. A pastor is a spiritual father. He's meant to be a spiritual father or a spiritual person, not a therapist. Therapists are people that have studied the mind, the behaviors, characters. So, what has that pastor really studied in terms of human behaviors, characters, that he can be a counselor? You see, that's a mistake a lot of people make. I am a very spiritual person, but I can never have a problem. And I would tell my husband, let us go to a pastor. The pastor is for spiritual problems, not for um mental or in illnesses or traumas. And that's why I said it's always good to get someone that you both do not know. She knew the pastor, so of course he was biased. So don't use because of that incident to say you would not want to hear what someone, a therapist or a counselor will tell you, because she went, you both went to the wrong person, number one. The pastor is not a therapist. Let's be very sincere. He's not. Then number two, the man already, I don't know what he had with her, or maybe they were friends, and he wanted to speak for the benefit of his friend. So you see, there are two errors there. But a properly trained therapist will tell you where you're wrong, will tell her where she's wrong, and now tell you guys how you can navigate this problem to find a long-lasting solution. Not pointing out how handsome you are or how beautiful she is. Those things are not part of what we should be talking about. You understand me? So let me correct you. I'm just trying to correct you in that aspect. Please, never you take your problems to a pastor. I would not do that, except it's a spiritual thing. So
Okay. I for one, as a person, I don't usually take any of my problem to anybody. I've never done that in my life. So what happens is everybody sees him as a father figure. And you know how Nigerians respect any young and old pastor here. They call him daddy, daddy, daddy. And over the years, we've seen him counseling different family, people who wants to go into a serious relationship, couples and all that. After this church service, you see a lot of people gathered. They want to hear from him. He wants to pray. He wants to talk to them and all of that. And, this young lady, talked me into it and say, I think we need to. I said, see, I don't, what I can solve for myself, why would I? I think he felt maybe I'm not a child of God, or I don't want someone superior or someone bigger like a father to step in. And so I said, okay, let me respect her feelings and let me go hear this whole drama out. So at the end of the day, I found out that the pastor believes that not just him alone, he believes that women are very punctual when it comes to church service, and they are so dedicated to things of God. And so even if I get out of the church, he knows she will be coming, praising God. But at the end of the day, he has something at the back of his mind, and which I later told her, but it was already late. So when I went deeper, and I found out that a lot of women have actually successfully separated in their relationship, and the guys are not coming. So the women are coming, and he started making some of them his daughter and personal, just to make sure they are still there. But it was already late. So I, for one, I have never in my entire life, in my relationship, tried to call someone else to come and help me talk to something I know, okay, is my problem or is my fault. When it's my fault, I would accept it and say, okay, I'm sorry. So how do we make this work? If if it's her fault, I'll tell her to her face, see, babe, come on, can we just adjust this? Can we stop this? Can this, this is just the only issue, or I'll jokingly chip it into you and say, hey, maybe you call me or you say to me, you are drunk, or are you drunk or something, are you crazy? And probably I don't like that word. I won't come at you, I will just funny, jokingly put it somewhere. If you're smart, you will know, okay, he doesn't like this kind of abusive words or attitudes and all of that. So I can't, at my level as a master in martial arts and with the things I know, I've seen people, mature people, I can't come to my level and say, hey, I need someone to come and talk to me about my house or something I should do right, or knowing fully well it's my fault. I know it's my fault. So why don't I kill the pride? Calm down and say, hey, okay, okay, I'm sorry. Some people find it so difficult to say I'm sorry. Some people that's where they I can never say sorry. They
That's
just want
where
to
you
be.
need therapy. That's when you know you need therapy.
So there's a whole lot of problem when you can't humble yourself and say, okay, it's my fault, I'm sorry. Then there's a problem, and you guys cannot go to. Go a long way. I think I
So,
have to.
so we thank you for being so open about your experiences and your relationships, Director J. Leo, and also Grace Obi. We thank you for sharing some of your experiences and insight. And we do want to open the discussion with some of our viewers. And we have some questions from those in the audience right now. We have one question that says, before marriage, you can't fully know a person 100%. So how do you truly avoid marrying someone who's just pretending? People often say, observe their friends or ask questions, but how can you really tell if they're pretending? We'll start with Grace Obi.
Okay, so this question is very it's a very deep question. Let me put it that way
It's
because
very loaded, isn't it?
it is because it's very hard to spot a pretender, right? As an actress, we can pretend to be any character. We can pretend to be loving. We can pretend to be wicked. So people can pretend to be anything. But then I personally feel that the only way, and which is the most legit, there are other ways though, but let me start with the most legit, the one that can never fail you, is the gift of discernment. Discernment is a very, very powerful gift that I feel that if a lot of people can possess, we would not make mistakes in life. So I, for one, I have I have a strong gift of discernment, right? Especially I dream a lot. Like I each time I sleep in the morning, afternoon, or night, I always have a dream about somebody. Either my friends, like I met a guy and he was all over me. This was like 7 years ago, I think. But it was so funny that I was in a dream with this guy and I realized that this guy, we had no future together. So that subconsciously made me feel that whatever this guy is telling me today is just because of what he wants from me today. We do not have, because I realized later that he was lying to me. He had a son and he was married. But even before I found out, I already had that vision that there is no future here with this guy. So then again, in year 2022, I met another guy. He was all I ever prayed for. He was tall, he had an accent from a very rich family. He was, oh my God. But I still had a dream again that there was no future here. So when I woke up, I was like, oh God, what do I do? So but I already had this subconscious knowing in my subconscious that whatever I do here, whatever I see is on me. As for God has shown me what I need to know, what I need to see. So whatever, if I decide to say, oh, let me just be with him, whatever I get out of it is on me. So I just told myself I'm not ready to, put myself through any trauma, any unforeseen future problems. It wasn't hard for me. I broke the whole relationship. I left him and I went on living my life. So I feel that the number one thing is the gift of discernment. And the only way that one can have the gift of discernment is by being spiritual. You have to pray. But then again, on your own, if you don't have the gift of discernment, you need to become a detective. You need to become an FBI or the CIA. You need
That's
to
what I was
dig
going to
deeper.
say. Yeah.
Yeah, you need to dig deeper. Don't just stay and because someone knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, right? So don't just believe all what they tell you, because what the first guy, he never told me he was married. He never told me he had a child. He didn't. But I spoke to people that later let me know that this guy has a child. Whatever you're doing, just know that. And he has a woman in his house. Because one thing I remember was he never let me come visit him. We always went out, we always went to hotels, but never his house. It's suspicious. No one is a dummy. So you need to look out for all the signs. And then again, some people have their families abroad. So they will still let you come to their houses, but their families abroad. So I feel that discernment, let's leave the spiritual aspect out, but the physical aspect, you need to dig deeper. Don't just rely on everything that they tell you. Go, if you can, go on Google. I think right now there are apps that talk about people. Do everything humanly possible. Talk to few friends, talk to people, get informations. Don't just believe this guy. What if he's a ghost? What if the person you're dating is even a ghost? So a lot of people just hear the sweet words, believe the sweet words, get the gift, and they're fascinated. No, you know what you want. So dig deeper. Never stop digging until you have found out every detail of this person.
Right.
That is what.
They could be a drug addict, they could be a criminal. So what a lot of women do is to ignore the red flags because, there's something they like about them, they feel safe with them, or, they feel they're just gorgeous or hot, so they ignore the red flags, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So this is probably what happened to you. Your subconscious captured that, and then you were dreaming about it, and the red flags were coming up while you were sleeping. Yeah.
I have
So, Director J. Leo, we ask you to please
I have
join the conversation. Mhm.
I have a true life story, which I said when I have the time, I might turn it to a movie. A young lady who got married to a man and had 2 kids, and the young man set up a business for the woman at somewhere called Oshodi in Lagos, very popular place in Lagos. They were, living together and all of that, not knowing that the man he married was dead. He was a dead man and wasn't woman. And I don't know what happened. They buried him, they did everything, and his pictures and all that was in his village. So everybody forgot about him. So someone from the same village where the guy came from, came to buy something at the market and saw the guy. And this guy somebody noticed, and he walked away from the shop, left the woman. And the guy said his life never remained the same. His head was so big, he knew quite all right that guy is late. So he comforted the woman, and I was like, where's your husband? He said, just left here and all that. And the woman pointed at his picture. That's my husband. Well, is there any problem? Blah, blah, blah. He said there's something he would want to discuss with her if she don't mind. And all the time they were talking, this guy never came back. So he asked the woman, have you been to his village? Do you know well, he said since they got married, he doesn't like his village. He said his village people are bad people and all that. He doesn't want anything to happen to her and all that. But she has been wanting to go to the village to see where the husband and the children actually come from. So the guy persuaded her and said he would take her. But whatever happens, she should hold herself and not to, escalate things. That he knows the guy's mom, the father, they are still alive and there's nothing like evil and all that. So this lady secretly traveled with this man and got to the village, saw the grave, saw the mother, saw the father, and they were so shocked to hear that the guy has 2 kids and he's still alive. But the parent was like, no. So they asked the woman to bring pictures, evidence to show probably someone else that they're talking about. This woman brought their picture, everything, their family and all that. So in fact, it was a strange news. The whole village has gathered and they took the woman to the grave. She was crying. She said, this is the exact person. And she was asking if he's a twin. They said, no, this is the same person we were dealing with. So she started calling the man on the phone. He refused to pick. The husband refused to pick the call. So he was aware of whatever that was happening. And she got back to the house in Lagos. Couldn't find the man again. So he disappeared. So
he was impersonating a dead person, a dead man.
Huh?
He was impersonating a dead man.
He was dead. I don't know if he came back and continued his life. I don't know if you understand my story.
He was pretending he was dead when they buried him. We
No,
gotta.
for real, he was dead. And the woman was living with a.
Okay, we're gonna have to. Okay, we're gonna have to have part 3 just to cover this one. But anyway, yeah. So I thought I heard everything in life, but this was a new one. Okay, so we have one last question. Our interns and our viewers, they might be in Africa, so we have to be considerate of their data. And we've been live now for, yeah, how long has it been? It's been more than an hour. But anyway, we have one last question. Let's take this last question. It says, oh boy, I just lost the question. Anyway, boundaries. It was about boundaries. How do you set boundaries with your partner? What's the best way to do that? We'll start with Grace.
Okay, setting boundaries with your partner has to. Okay, it starts with in the place of communication, right? Mm-hmm. That is why it's good to communicate with anybody you wanna do life with. Understand the things that they don't like. We all have likes and dislikes, even in food, in character, in clothes, in almost everything, right? So you need to have that communication. You need to talk to this person, understand what this person is saying, and understand why they have this mindset. And that is where you can set the boundaries. But you cannot just come into a relationship and set your own boundaries without letting them know. So if they already have their boundaries set, or you already have your boundaries set, you communicate it with them. And if they're okay with it, then fine. But if they're not, just like maybe someone that has what they call it, OCD? No, not OCD. Someone that is I can't remember what they call it again. Someone that is a neat freak. Someone that is so neat that doesn't like to share cups, doesn't like to share spoons, and stuff. There are people like that. I have a friend like that. She doesn't like to share anything, not even with someone she's dating. So if you have such a problem, you have to communicate it with your partner, with the person you're planning to go into a relationship with. And if they're okay with it, you can explain to them how it all started and what brought you to this place, So people that have vast knowledge will understand that we are all the product of something. So if they understand and they say, okay, no problem, I can live with this, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But you cannot force anything on anybody. But if they can't, then maybe you just have to look elsewhere.
Yeah,
But
I know someone who they don't want the man's feet to touch theirs. And if they need to wash their feet or they can't do that. Can you imagine a woman, she don't want her husband's feet to touch her? Yeah, this is, so there's all sorts of weird stuff out there. And we did a video about this, Director J. Leo,
Yeah,
about wash his feet. Some women can never, ever do
yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah.
So we'll pass the the question on to you, Director Jaylee.
The same question Grace just answered.
Yes.
Well, I think Grace just nailed it. She just nailed it because, like, I have mine, and it's not much. My own is when my brain is trying to shut down, I want to sleep. And and if you don't understand that he needs to sleep, that means there will be a little problem. So, because I need to, when I sleep, I come up with new energy, new mindsets, and everything. So she just nailed it. We just have to have this understanding, and this person, this is what he likes, this is what she doesn't like. And when you have that, trust me, you're good to go. And one thing I learned from Grace today, which I would try to inculcate in my lifestyle, is trying to be a bad guy. I think ladies like a bad guy, and I just want to stop being a good guy. So, and you two just made me understand bad guys, the lucky ones, they get the good girls, and the good girls rush to them. Maybe I'll change some.
no, let me tell you, you cannot say you want to change from being a good guy to a bad guy. No, don't say that. But let me tell you one of the tricks that these guys use. These guys, they always come out as sweet talkers. Learn to be a sweet talker. Women fall for sweet talkers. Learn to compliment, as in, never, don't let it get old. Whenever you see her, tell her she's the most beautiful woman, even if she's not. At that point in time, you've made her felt like she's floating in the sky. Two, just learn to add all those, learn to smell so good,
And
smell like,
lie. Learn to
smell
lie.
like.
Okay, I have my two teeth now. Good. Okay.
So
That's
do all of that and always look good. These guys, they always look perfect. I don't know how to do it though, but they always have this look that they're irresistible. Come off looking irresistible. You don't have to change, because being a bad guy means what you're trying to say, maybe you don't want to have multiple girls. No, the fact that women fall for them is not because they have multiple girls. That's not it. The fact that women fall for them is because of those things they do to these women. You understand? Because no woman would really see a guy in the midst of so many women and want to still go there. How they do it is how they approach those women. They come off looking hot, brilliant, sweet talkers. They come with that character. And that is when the women fall. And when they fall, they don't at that point in time when they've gotten to that level, they don't care how many guys this how many women this guy has. They just want to always have him around. So have that trait where a woman will always want to have you around, and that is it. You've hit the jackpot. You don't need to start having multiple women, or no, trust me.
Now I see. So you have to have swag, Director J. Leo. You got to be able to lie at a drop of a dime. Okay. And smell good. All right. Thanks, Grace. You opened our eyes to a lot today. And we hopefully, yeah, we'll have part 3 next month because this was very informative. It was a lot of fun. We enjoyed both of you being here today. And before we close our podcast, the webinar, we want to, uh, let everyone know about the Hidden Clue Challenge. We have part 2, the sequel for Monkey Business, that we'll be filming hopefully by the end of next year. And, this first part, Monkey Business Part 1, Grace had something that she was hiding. She comes and she tells her parents she's really divorced. So if you can guess the next thing that Grace is hiding for the next movie, you'll get a prize. We have a $30 US prize for you. So you can email us at monkeybusinessflick@gmail.com if you have the answer and you want to claim your prize. So please like, share, and subscribe, everyone. Drop your comment below. And we are getting ready to drop episode 1 of the Monkey Business movie next Friday. I believe that's November 28th. So check it out. Give uh, your your favorite actress, Grace Obi, the support that she needs. Let's help the algorithm push out African stories globally. Join our movement, be part of the Monkey Business movement. So we appreciate you uh, tuning in today. And what else? We want to talk about our youth empowerment, but maybe we'll talk about that more next time. Let me see if I have something uh, about that. We want you to definitely check out nexna.com if you want to join us as an intern, work with us on music, movies, uh, you know, digital education. Can you see my screen here, everyone?
Yeah.
This is the youth at Nexna who's powering our webinar, the Monkey Business Movie. We also will be getting ready to have Sherry Jerry Studios where, we're going to have master classes. Hopefully, Grace Obi can join us where we're, helping our people who are enrolling to have acting lessons, get online martial arts self-defense training. So we're going to roll that out next year. So lot more to come. And before we, end our webinar today, we want to make sure we ask Director J. Leo to give us his closing message.
Okay, my closing message is very sweet because I want to celebrate a superstar, and her name is I don't know, you all might, yeah, her name is Grace Obi. She's fantastic. She's beautiful. Tomorrow is her birthday, and I want to use the opportunity to say happy birthday, Grace. You are a wonderful soul, and we are going to walk, and do a whole lot of things together. I say, may God bless, God protect you, may God continue to lift you, and a happy birthday to you. Trust me, we're going to find a way to celebrate it.
Thank you
Happy
so much.
birthday. Yes, another year around the sun. We give thanks. Yes, glory to God. So, yeah, everyone wish Grace OB a happy birthday in the comments section. Yeah, we thank you for being here on your birthday weekend. Why didn't you tell us? Yeah, so we have a gift for you because you are
Yeah.
special and we appreciate you. Yes, indeed. Yes, yes. So, uh, go ahead and, yeah, share your closing message, Grace, please.
Okay, so today, in all we have discussed, I feel that anybody who wants to go into a relationship or marriage, don't do it blindly. Please try to dig deeper, try to discern better so you don't make mistakes, because it's so hurting when you feel like you found the right person and few months or few years down the line you feel like you just wasted your time, your efforts, everything. So the only way that can be avoided is there's certain rules, there's certain things you need to put in place. It's just like saying you want to cook. You can't put a pot on the gas without putting on the gas. You have to put on the gas and the fire goes into the pot, and whatever it is you want to cook would boil properly. So always learn to put things in place. So the truth is, I'm actually